Okay, so it's been, so coffee, it's fantastic. It's been around since the 15th century. That's this kind of year because, I don't know, historians are stupid. It comes from Africa, which roughly is shaped like this. Ethiopia, and if I'm throwing out a wild guess, I think Ethiopia is like around this area. Am I right? Because I think like Sudan is also where it's from. It's like here-ish. Kenya. The word coffee probably comes from Kaffa, which is where it's from in Ethiopia, where the guys, they would eat the berries because coffee starts as a little red boy, little red guy. That's coffee, and they would eat that. They would have they would eat that. Their energy would go up. This made it easy for them to, when they were hunting animals. I don't know what animals live in Ethiopia, but I'm assuming it's antelope. And if they were hunting antelope, they would be able to stay awake for the days when they were gone. And then they would get the antelope and they'd be able to take it home. Now, naturally, your boy, Italy, loves trading. They got a guy here, they got a guy here. They love going I gotta draw Sicily. They love going all over the place to all the different lands in the land. They love getting stuff from far away. Is this one Venice or is this one Venice? I never remember. One of them is Venice. And Venice is so good at doing this trading thing that Venice is like almost its own country. And it's like almost a more important country than all of Italy together. Because Italy's not really a country at this point. So Venice gets the coffee. They get a lot of it. And they're like, coffee's pretty tasty, eh? They open up coffee shops. And they continue trading with the whole entire world, and it also goes up this way through the rest of Europe. You know, your guys like Austria and France and Germany, which there's 3 countries here, but only 2 languages are spoken. They all took their own spin on coffee, and I didn't really want to read about them because when I kept going through the list, there was always more countries that had coffee. So the main guy we're gonna talk about today is England. It's the 17th century now, specifically 1675. England had 3,000 coffee shops. 3,000 of them. Now, if you are finna get enlightenment dudes, loved coffee. Have you ever had a beer before? If you are a child watching this video, that's bad. But if you've ever had a beer before, you know beer makes you slow and makes you dumb. but coffee makes you anxious and smart. Bit of a trade-off there, but that's okay. So imagine that. They go from drinking all these beers to pass the time to drinking coffee. So they go from being all, let's go sleep in a ditch, you know, to all of a sudden having all this extra intelligence kicking around. Can you believe the implications of this? So the Enlightenment guys are like off the charts right now. They're sitting in coffee shops. They're coming up with plans. King Chucky doesn't like this one bit. He is upset about coffee shops. He's like, I smell people who are gonna take my job. So he tries to get rid of them, but it doesn't work because everybody likes coffee. Like, come on, dude. Look, come on. The main reason people like coffee is the main reason people like most things. Drugs. Caffeine, my guy. He snatches your brains. He gets in there. He starts chooching the dopamine around in your brain. He gives your brain a false sense of security, makes him think he's got more energy than he really does. It's physically addictive. Like, this is like one of those ones where if you don't have it, you go into withdrawal and you actually like are missing a chemical in you. Not like, I don't know, some other kinds of addictions there are. So after coffee survived its trip through England and it made it to America, the usual things happened. The same people didn't really like it too much, but then there was this little party they had in 1773. They had tea at it, and pretty much what they did was they turned Boston Harbor into one big old teacup. I think it was Boston Harbor. I'm not American, but they did this with their favorite brand of tea called F.U. England. And you're gonna want to steep that for about 250 years. Still steeping. It's actually best to take it out after nuclear holocaust. And during this time, when all the tea was being used in the harbor, they decided to switch to coffee because FU England had gotten so popular that they ran out. So everybody's drinking coffee now. So it's bumping. And then kind of after this time, coffee already had sugar in it, but like after this guy got it, and after this guy got his hands on it, it became pretty industrialized. And coffee only grows in like a couple places in the world. I'm not going to draw the whole Earth, but if you know about the Earth, you know it's got the equator, right? And then there's like the pole. And then there's this other one on the map that you'll see too, the Tropic of Capricorn and the Tropic of Cancer. It might be the other way around. But this space here is called the Coffee Belt. It's the only place on the Earth that is warm enough to make coffee, and America can't grow coffee, so they have to. They're like up here, whatever. So they like. That's America, so they have to outsource it to other countries in the world. And the usual suspects, like your boy Africa and your gal South America, get screwed in the deal, like they always do. These poor people get abused and enslaved, just like all the other times that a country has been like, oh, I'm gonna discover industry, oh, look at me, people that don't look like me, I'm gonna make them into my slaves. And so these guys get the rough end of the deal. And coffee nowadays isn't like that, but for a long time it was. And when it became big business, obviously money drives inequality. And that was a very sad time for these places. We have a slightly better conscience nowadays, not to, you know, it's not great, but it's better than it used to be. Now there are lots more places where coffee is grown. I'm gonna count India as separate from Asia for no reason other than Asia was too broad when I started writing. So, like Vietnamese coffee, Vietnam is so good. Vietnam is also part of Asia. All these places have really good coffee. South America obviously has really good coffee. They grow it there, so they've had a lot of opportunity to perfect it and to make it their own. So a lot of these places have great coffee. I just don't have time for that in this video because it's a short video. And pretty much what I wanted to end it on was the word Frappuccino.